here are some of the menu options that are on digital still cameras. And this is one of them from our models this year. So for example, here's an aerial shot, maybe from an airplane. Starry sky is this mode. So what it's doing is it's adjusting the ISO setting and adjusting the shutter speed and a couple of other settings internally too on the camera. But it's automatically, again, that set it and forget it. All right? So these are just an example of some of the modes. And I mentioned portrait before. Here's portrait mode. Here's the soft skin mode. We joke about this. This is the Susan Lucci mode. Make you look good? Okay. No offense to Miss Lucci out there. So, but anyway, this is just a couple of examples. Now, someone mentioned motion picture before, I think in the back room over there. We do have motion picture mode. I've got 1 minute and 38 seconds remaining in motion picture mode if I want to take a couple of shots. And I can start it now, and I could do a couple of recordings, and you're all being recorded. There's the blinking icon on the top. And I think I'll turn it off right about now, and I'll just pause it, and that's it. So if I was to play this back, let's go back to playback. And here's playback. I got sound and audio. Now again, it is not the best of quality because it is video. It's doing 30 frames per second, but it's doing, I think, the 460, the lower resolution. 680 by 460, I think, is what it is. The IA icon, I'm sorry about that if you can't see. The IA icon, that's our intelligent auto mode. I have the camera already set in it. Again, it's an option for you to use as a user. You don't have to do it, but if you want to take away all that guesswork, you can put it into intelligent auto mode. That's one of the features on digital still cameras this year. This is automatic intelligent flash, auto flash. It's ready for flash. Does anybody know what 10M is? Just take a guess. We're talking about digital stills now. What's 10M? Go ahead, say it. 10 megapixels, right, there we go. This year, all of our digital still lineup, at least in Panasonic land, 8.1 megapixels up to 10.1. That question's kind of blown out now. We don't need it anymore. You don't have to ask that question if you're buying a digital still camera, and it happens to be a Panasonic, because we'll give you great qualities if you're blowing up 4x6. You can go 8x12, 8x11, anything like that. You can still blow up the photographs. This is just the picture quality that we have here, and it shows in our owner's manual what it is. We're on battery power. We're using the internal memory on the camera, because I'm not using an SD card. If I was to put a blank card in there, this number would jump up into the maybe hundreds, maybe even topping off in like 2,000 possibly, depending upon the size. Okay? So let's see, I wanted to show you an example of face recognition. Who wants to be recognized? I'll take some pictures over here. Now if you notice, there's a yellow and a white. The yellow guy is the primary person that it's trying to focus on, and then the whites are the secondary. Now, here's something else you want to know about face recognition. It has to see 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. It can't see 1 eye or half a face. It has to see 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. It's all proportionate. The camera knows the distances from the two. All right? Let's get you guys in there too. There's a couple of square faces on the TV now. So you would be the primary focus if I was to take this shot. And there you are.
How do you do that?
I have it in auto intelligent, the intelligent auto mode. It automatically just shows up. There you are. Finally, one of the other things was intelligent scene mode. Again, scene mode is a nice thing because what it tells you as a user, what it helps you with, is that it takes the guesswork out of what are the settings I need to do. So for example, this is an example here of portrait mode. That's a scenery mode. That's a nighttime portrait mode, and that's nighttime scenery. Finally, the other thing I just wanted to mention was, and this is the last thing I will mention because I do want to entertain some questions. Remember I said all the cheat notes were on the camera if you ever go to the website? Well, here we're telling you there's a 10 megapixel camera. It is a 30 millimeter lens on this. It is a Leica lens, because all the cameras this year have the Leica except that one model, the LS80, which is that teeny bopper kind of model I kind of described it as. Here's the optical zoom right here. This is a 5 times optical zoom. And over here, this is that little sensor that I mentioned moves about 4,000 times a second. It's pretty interesting. The FX35 comes in silver, blue, black, and I think the light silver color. Here's a nice red color in a different model. It's an FS5. These are all the models that J&R will carry this year, and these are our 2008 models, and I believe they're in stock now. Here's a nice, what would you say, a Thunderbird blue? It's a nice Thunderbird blue color to that. That's the FS3. So here's that LS80. This is the Paris Hilton pink color, maybe, you know. But this is the camera. It still has 8.1 megapixels in there. Still, it's a good model for a startup child or a person who wants to take some photographs and maybe start entering the market in digital still photography. And it does use last year's engine, so it moves about 600 times a second, like I mentioned before, one of those models.
TZ3 in that file?
I don't have the TZ3. The closest one is going to be the TZ5. That's this model. So this is the successor to that TZ3 camera that Consumer Reports raved about. This is the model right there if you're interested in it.